We're breaking it in with 5W30 conventional, just the Super Tech. Alright everybody, I'm going to finish up with the compression test on the 97 Geo Metro after the re-ring. I re-ringed it and I checked the bearings and they were pretty much brand new spec as far as thickness and the clearance with the plastic gauge. I installed the rings without honing the cylinders at all. That is not recommended to do that, but my cylinders were within the round and not tapered. I tried to get the cast iron rings. There's some people that believe that if you use cast iron rings and not chrome rings, that your rings will seat very quickly without a crosshatch at all. When you do hone the cylinders, you're basically increasing your bore size by 4 thousandths of an inch, 4 to 5 thousandths of an inch by the time you get broken in after you wear out that crosshatch, at least the plateau of it. To make a long story short, guy wrote an article on it and I followed that as close as I could. The rings are, the bottom ring was total cast iron, but the top ring was chrome plated. But Hastings, the ring manufacturer, claimed that they were pre-seated, so I'm not sure if that helped any, but I had no problem with this engine getting broke in. We're gonna test the compression. I'm pretty confident with just the way it drives that we're gonna see pretty good numbers. My gas mileage has been climbing. Every tank of gas has been getting better and better. Last tank was 49 miles per gallon in pretty much mixed driving. I also wasn't babying it either because with that chrome top ring and no hone, I was really trying to seat the rings with quite a few wide open throttle acceleration, you know, once it got warmed up, of course. Also, haven't changed the oil because of my frantz filter. I just replaced that and we'll go look at that. We're breaking it in with 5W30 conventional, just the Super Tech. This is the, this one here is the roll out of the frantz filter, and you can see, I believe you can see all the metal chunks, particles in there. I had another car that I replaced the timing chain in, and I got this same metal particles in the filter for a couple times after I changed the filter. I'm a strong believer in these filters. If you can tell that it's sealing really well by looking at the bottom, and you see you got the seal here and the seal here. This bottom part ends up getting really hard packed. I do see some metal particles right here. I don't know if those were trying to get past the seal. The seal is right here. There's a little piece of metal that bites in right here and creates that seal. It bites way into this. You can see how far that goes down. You can see how far that goes down. It bites right into that roll. So just on the other side of that seal, there is some tiny metal particles you can see there, but it doesn't look like they got past the seal. So the oil comes up. The oil comes up through here. This is the bottom. The oil comes up through here, and it gets caught. It gets caught right here, so it can only go up. But the seal is right there. But anyway, this side is really loaded with metal. I'm a big believer in these filters. The one I put on after the water pump for the Mazda, it took all the water that was left in that engine that would have created just sludgy oil. It took all the water out in that filter. I can't say enough about them. They're awesome. Anyway, I have not ever changed the oil since I put this filter in, except I drained it obviously and put conventional in, but I still have the old oil, the synthetic that was in there, and actually probably gonna put it back in. That sounds dumb, but anyway, I got the old oil right here. It's not 5W20. This was out of this one here. So anyway, I had been using this Restore and Protect. Kept the engine really clean. Let's go ahead and check the compression. And also, another thing, it has completely stopped burning oil. I did not have to add any oil to it. I also stopped an oil leak that was under there's a O-ring, this O-ring right here, that it's been there ever since. There's an O-ring inside there under the distributor that always leaks on these cars. And as you can see, the transmission was always got oil on it, but no more fresh oil. This car is no longer an oil abuser. Okay, here we go with the compression test. All right. Almost everybody recommends honing your cylinders just because it gives the rings a much better chance of seating properly, but I just chose not to because I'm going for longevity, and I have no idea if that'll make it last longer or not, but I just figured not increasing the bore size would make it last longer, because you increase the bore size, you also increase the ring gap, and I believe that was the reason why the rings were toasted anyway, because they felt like they had plenty of spring left in them. It's just that the ring gaps were too big. So these Hastings rings were pre-gapped, I guess, because I wouldn't have wanted to make them any bigger, I'll say that. So honing would make them a little bit bigger. And anyway, I don't want you guys to follow my advice and not hone your cylinders if you're going to re-ring it. I'm just telling you what I did, okay? In case you want to research that more. Don't go by what I did. Those are hot. Ouch. Cylinder 1. Between 170 and 175. Yeah, 175. Alright, it's pretty much the same on all cylinders. Just under 175. Okay. So there it is. A no hone ring job. I got, let's call it 173 pretty much on all cylinders. I got like 800 miles on the rings. So I'm not sure if it'll go up more than that. I mean, even if it doesn't, I'm not burning oil. I'm happy, because if I'm not burning oil, I'm probably not going to be burning my exhaust valves anymore. And I'm getting good gas mileage and good power. I've noticed a lot more power just as the engine gets broken in. Just, you know, little hills that I used to have to downshift or I would lose speed going up. Now I don't. Time will tell. Hopefully this car will be good for a long time. And easier to start even. Very easy to start now. My gamble may have paid off with not honing the cylinders, but like I say, if you do that, you're taking a little bit of a risk. And I didn't really mind taking the risk because it's my time, and if I have to tear the engine back down, that's on me. I don't want somebody to have to tear an engine down because they took my advice, so I was almost reluctant to say that I didn't hone it. I'm always one to try to do something a little bit different anyway. If I noticed anything abnormal about the cylinders, probably would have honed it with one of those stone hones. Anyway, catch you on the next one.